Okay, so it's Saturday, May 27th, 2023, about 1:35 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time here in Central Indiana. And I'm on my way to look at an estimate. I just finished working and doing some emergency service for a flower install that we did a couple of weeks ago. And that's what I want to talk about briefly. This particular client we've had is probably my favorite client I've ever had. Calbert Cheney, who was my basketball hero growing up, used to live in this house. He leased a property from my customer. I didn't know that until after he had moved out, which is somewhat nice because I want to respect people on their personal time. It was just really random how that worked out. But we've helped this guy on his property for about 10 years. I helped his brother before his brother passed away, and they're just really good people. They know a lot of high influence people, so to speak, celebrities or so. But they've been good to me over the years. So this particular customer, we've mowed his grass, done his mulch for him, his cleanups, extractions, installs, flowers specifically over the last several years. Well, about 2 weeks ago, we did his flower, maybe a week and a half, we did his flower install. And one of my guys called me, and he's like, man, such and such address, it's looking really bad. The flowers are dying. I'm like, what are you talking about? I immediately nearly had a heart attack. So he sends me some pictures. I'm like, oh, great. This isn't looking good. So I'll come out today to take a look and get everything watered. And sure enough, a lot of the flowers are dry. Now, I did look at his drip system, and I think that it's because his drip system is not running anywhere near what it needs to be. It's only running 3 times a week and running for 10 minutes. I really believe that's the problem. That said, I don't know just yet. I did make an adjustment, increase the time on that, and watered everything really well. So time will tell. But in doing that, I noticed that there are a bunch of flowers, not all by any means, but enough that are going to have to be replaced, which I'm going to replace at no cost to the customer. And I told him that, and he appreciates it, by the way. Sometimes relationships just matter. But a lot, I would say a lot, there are several flowers that are not planted the right way. And so typically, we're talking about sun patients specifically. But typically what I do for my sun patient installs is I'll take a power drill attachment that pulls the dirt out. You dig it in, you put it into a drill, and it digs a nice little hole for your flowers. And then all you got to do, and it pulverizes the soil in the process too. So all you got to do is take it, the flower, push it down into the ground. And what I've always done is I've taken that sun patient out of the cartridge that it comes into after I've drilled that hole, and I remove the soil, and I push that flower and the ball down into the ground to where it's just barely below the surface of the soil. And then I take some of that old soil, put it on top of it, and sprinkle some mulch so that everything is flush to the ground. I don't like a lot of flowers around the base, or a lot of mulch, specifically thick mulch, around the base of the plant of the flower. I don't like that. I want water to be able to get down to it. I don't want it to be smothered. It's not good for the flower. Unfortunately, several of these flowers are not planted down into the soil deep enough, nowhere near deep enough. And some of them even come out. Now, I don't know how that happened. We might have some, varmints, doing that. But anyway, I've said this several times before. I wish in a perfect world, in fact, I know in a perfect world, I could personally oversee every single aspect of every project that we take on. The reality is, as a business, we can't do that. It's not possible. And you have to have trust in the guys that are working for you. That's part of work, And we never have this type of a problem with this guy or his helper before. And this one guy specifically has helped me for about 10 years. But it just goes to show that if you want something done right, I've said this before, you have to do it yourself. You just have to do it yourself. On this particular property, I should have been the one out there going and doing the flower installs. I should have just went out there and spent 3 or 4 hours, planted the flowers, and been done with it. Now, with the way the drip system is set, the outcome could have still been the same in reality. We are a little over an inch behind in moisture and rainfall in Central Indiana right now. It hasn't rained, gosh, I don't know, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not 100% certain on that, but it's been a while. And so some of the lawns are looking crispy. I've been having to water my plants, my flowers, pretty consistently so they don't go under. But there's a right way and a wrong way to plant. And these are a couple of my peeves. I'm just sharing this with you. When you seed a lawn and you're doing a top dressing on top of the seed, and there are bare spots that you're also working on that are in the lawn, if you don't put seed where that bare spot is, grass is not going to magically sprout there. So if you don't put the seed down and then you go over and you top dress like peat moss or whatever you're top dressing with on top of that bare area, and there's no seed, no grass is going to come up. Now that might seem like common sense, but a lot of the guys that I've had help me over the years don't get that. So when we do seeding projects, 99% of the time anymore, I'm out there. It's got to be done the right way. You know, there are times where you could do everything correctly and nature just doesn't respond appropriately. And I've used this analogy before. You get a corn farmer out, and he does all the work to his fields, and he plants his corn. He sows his corn. And there are some areas that just don't respond. That happens sometimes with grass too. But there's no way possible that any area is going to respond to growth with grass seed if you don't put seed there in the first place. And this one particular guy, I'll have him help me, and I'll watch him, and he won't seed. And he'll put peat moss on top of it. And the only thing I can think of is he's getting a check. He's getting a check for, the projects that he does. Whether grass comes up or whatever, it doesn't matter to him. Now, in this particular property that he was helping me with, and I like this guy, by the way, he's actually a really good worker. Why he didn't walk back through and check this stuff, maybe he did, how he didn't see it is absolutely beyond me. I got a message last night stating that a lot of the flowers have died, maybe 80 of them, and we're close to 100. And while I think they might be salvageable if we water them really well, I don't want to roll the dice and think, water them for 2 weeks and see if they're not going to come back. But so many things, these are one of the things that, it's hard to let go of, because in order to grow as a business, you got to let go and you got to let other guys do stuff. And that means over time, they're going to screw something up. So we're going to have to sit down from word go and go back over on how to plant these and do them the right way, and the importance of doing quality checkups, etc. But a lot of them, it appears, are just planted in mulch. You can't plant flowers in mulch. You can't do that. Now, you might randomly get lucky and have some plants, flowers not die off from that if they're staying wet, but it's still not the way it's supposed to be. In my experience, if you don't get it down in the soil, it's not going to do well. And some patients are pretty good, durable plants. They're great looking flowers. So anyway, we're going to be back out there on Tuesday. I've got to get a bunch of flats of sun patients, and I go out and replace the ones that have died, and then maybe even replant a lot of them that have been planted to get things done the right way. Let's go out there, turn on some music, and spend 4 or 5 hours, just chilling out and working in nature. For me, that's one of the reasons I got in this industry. It's relaxing for me. The last 2 weeks have been just so hectic for me. I didn't have the time to get out there because of the holiday. Everybody wanted their lawn work, etc. done. So we'll see if the time drip difference makes a difference. It's not going to run again until Monday, but I watered everything really well today. I'll probably get over there on Monday anyway and check. I'm going to be back on Tuesday regardless, and check to see if the system ran and did what it's supposed to do. So just know, if you are growing and you got guys out doing work, mistakes are going to happen. And you can't yell at your guys. You can't treat them like crap. You've got to treat them with respect. And I have found in my experience over the years that more times than not, if you treat people with respect and show them that you value them, they're more apt to do good work. They're more apt to care. It just pays off in dividends, and they feel appreciated. A lot of these guys in this industry get ran into the ground. I know of one landscaping business that they don't let their guys go to the restroom. So they'll go to a gas station and get gas. The guy's got to take a leak or whatever. They don't let them go in. What is that? I mean, they might need something to eat. Granted, you could pack it with you, and I understand you got to limit, downtime, but you got to treat people, as if they're humans. So anyway, I'm kind of off on a rant, just sharing what I was doing today. I'm going to do some planting. I got to go do an estimate. We're going to do some planting on Tuesday. I got 1 yard I got to cut today, and then I'll be back working on my lawn this evening and enjoying the home life. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'm only at 1.7 thousand people. I got to figure out something, do something right. It doesn't seem like I'm doing anything right. I'm putting out some good information, but it's not translating into more followers. So please help. Maybe share the video on your page or something like that. Peace.